There is a new president in America, Donald J. Trump, the former president and president-elect, promises sweeping changes to the US economy. He promises to cut taxes, hike tariffs, and reduce prices for gasoline. But is he going to do it? Is it even possible to keep those promises? Hi, my name is Vitaly. I am an economist. I am a boring mainstream economist. And in this channel, I discuss economics. I am trying to stay away from politics and talk economics. So, will Donald Trump keep his election promises? Let's talk. Donald Trump promises to cut energy prices by half within a year.
I will cut the price of energy and electricity in half.
Is he going to do it? No. Let's ask a few questions. Does Donald Trump own oil companies? No. Does the US government own oil companies? Still no. Can the United States produce so much oil that will crash world oil market prices? No, no, and again, no. But you are smart. You probably want to say, isn't the US the biggest producer of oil in the world? And you would be right. Yes, America is the biggest producer of oil because under President Obama, America expanded its oil production. President Obama was a green president. That's why he boosted oil productions of the US. So much for green energy. But America produces oil mostly for America. Let's look at the numbers. The US produces about 13 million barrels per day, but it consumes 20. So America imports about 7 million barrels per day, mostly from Canada, Mexico, and Saudi Arabia. So yes, America is the largest producer of oil in the world, but it produces oil for itself. America doesn't export oil on world markets, and America can't influence world market prices. Can the US government subsidize oil companies to
Drill, baby, drill. We're going to start that day one.
It can, but why would they do that? Why would oil companies launch massive infrastructure projects if they know that oil prices will be low? Why invest so much to gain so little? But let's say it happens. The US government gives a lot of subsidies and tax benefits to oil companies and they start drilling. That process, the process of building new oil rigs, takes years. It takes at least 3 or 4 years. So even if President Trump is successful, even if oil companies start drilling from day one, this policy will have an effect in 4 years, just in time for a new president. So let's go back to this topic in 5 years and see who was correct. But let's say I am wrong and President Trump does reduce energy prices by half within 1 year. That would hurt American companies. Low prices for energy would mean low profits for American oil and gas. And American oil was one of the biggest sponsors of Donald Trump's presidential campaign. And for any American president, it's a sacred duty to return favors to sponsors. Joe Biden, for example, did everything he could for big banks, and Donald Trump too will protect his sponsors, American oil, and American oil wants high oil prices. So if Donald Trump could reduce oil prices, he wouldn't. But let's say I am wrong again and Donald Trump does reduce oil prices. Can you guess which country would benefit the most? China. Because China is dependent on oil exports. Oil exports are a lifeline for China's economic success. And right now, oil exports come from Russia, Saudi Arabia and Malaysia. So low oil prices would be a gift for China. Make China great again. Put your comment below and we are moving to the next question. President Trump promises to impose tariffs on foreign goods. A blanket 20% tariff on all foreign goods, between 25% and 100% on goods from Mexico, and a 60% tariff on goods from China. But will he do it? No. Maybe, kinda. President Trump can't and will not impose such tariffs, because imposing such blanket aggressive tariffs on all foreign goods will push prices up. They will raise prices for both foreign goods and American goods. Yes, tariffs will raise prices for important goods. That's the whole idea. High prices for imports will mean that Americans will buy more of American goods. But in economics it's called substitutes. If Americans will buy fewer imported goods and more American goods, that will mean a higher demand for American goods, and higher demand will push prices up. They will unleash an even higher inflation. Inflation so high that the Biden inflation will look like a child's play. That will look at the 10% inflation under Biden like a good old times. And President Trump can't let that happen. But even though President Trump will not impose high tariffs, he will use tariffs as a threat. He will use the threat of tariffs in his bargaining with other countries. He will use them to force other countries to buy American goods. My country, Canada, will lose because President Trump will be negotiating with this. So Canada will lose, but the one who will lose the most is Europe. Europe will lose because its leaders are weak. Because European leaders will be too helpless against the strong American president.
It's going to be only America first. America first.
But Donald Trump will impose some tariffs. We can forget about 20% tariffs on all foreign goods. That's not going to happen. But the president will impose smaller tariffs on fewer goods. Because the idea of tariffs is to punish foreign producers and to protect domestic ones. And that's what Trump wants to do. He wants to bring manufacturing back to the United States. Yes, he will. He will cut taxes. And why wouldn't he? Because every single president cut taxes. President Reagan, Bush Sr., Bush Jr., Obama and Trump, they all cut taxes. It's like all they do is cutting taxes. So if they cut taxes, why not Trump? And that will help the US economy in the short run. It will help the economy to avoid a recession. They will also bring back high inflation, and they will make the already astronomical public debt even bigger. But that problem will be for the next president to solve. President Trump will cut taxes because it's easy and popular. And he will not hike tariffs because high tariffs would have hurt the US economy. And he will not reduce energy prices because he can't do it. That was my take on economics of Donald Trump. I wish you to survive these wonderful times. Stay tuned and I'll talk to you next time.